We all know that Pro Expanders, and they've been about nearly 4 years now, and myself and Sonu work with those pellets, and they have been a massive success. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They are the best and easiest expanders on the market, and they catch tons and tons of fish, whether that's skimmers, F1s, carp, you name it, them pellets work. And you know, they are so easy to prepare. Basically, we all know by now, whether you want to do them the night before, whether you want to do them on the morning before you go fishing, they take roughly an hour, especially in cold water, because that's the best way of getting that pellet to its sort of perfect shape, and you know, the consistency is used really cold water. But obviously, working with those pellets years ago, I always mess around trying to take it to the next level. And I've been doing this. I'm going to show you some of what I've been doing for 12 months now. I've obviously taken 12 months to get round and to film this with Jake. Obviously, Jake's the media guy for Sonubaits. I've spoke to him. He says, Des, are you sure? And I said, I'm positive. This is now the time to show you guys exactly what I've been doing. And it doesn't matter whether you use the 2mm, 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You can do this process with the whole range. And for me, when I started messing about with this, I mean, you can use a Pro Expander, no problem at all, but I love sort of smells, additives and things like that, because I've actually fished with some of the sort of best carp anglers in the world, and I know they are totally convinced, and I'm convinced that's the same with ground baits, the same with, like, you know, any sort of things that you use. Smells make a difference to when you're fishing for carp and skimmers and F1s. Now, you'll probably see from that, these are like my old bait booster bottles. I've gone through a little bit since we've been doing bait booster. It says on there 4mm Pro soaked. Now inside there, basically, this is what I've done 12 months ago. These are probably about 8 months old, these pellets. So I've soaked them in bait booster. Now I can get these out, right? Most importantly, you don't put water on them until you actually want them. Now what's happened to them pellets, or the Pro Expanders, is the bait booster has actually gone into the pellet, and you can see it's actually gone soft, where a normal Pro Expander out of a bag would be rock hard, and then until you put it in water. They've actually soaked all the bait booster in. The thing is with this little process that I do, it takes time. It takes a minimum of 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not an overnight thing that you can do. That's something that I'll show you what you can do later. So if you love your Pro Expanders, if you love having an expander with a bit of smell, this is a way to do it. So I'm going to put them to one side because I want them. I've actually run out. I mean, I've only got a few left, and I've gone through obviously several bottles through a year because I do a lot of expander fishing. Now I've got an old bait booster bottle. You say it's been bashed up. There's like mouldy leather. There's a little bit of washed out bait booster in there. I'm going to do some 6mm because I've run out of 6mm, and it's really easy. So I've got my Pro Expanders there, obviously whatever size you want. Stick them in the bottle, whichever smell you want. You know, obviously bait booster comes in several different smells. But you know, washed out is what always been my favourite. I can't really sort of say why. And I can basically get the whole bottle in there like that, full up. Now, obviously you've got, you know, you've got washed out, you've got Power Scopex, depending which one you want. If you want, you can do several if you want. It's up to you. Now, washed out is my favourite. It smells absolutely beautiful. But most importantly, make sure that bottle that you use, try and use a nice big bottle so you can get probably the whole bag of your pros in. And then basically fill the bottle up with bait booster. And you don't need that much because there's a lot. You'll see that go down. Because bait booster is quite thick, you see that going down. It will take a little bit of time. Give it a bit of a knock, fill it back up. So I want this really full up. You see that going down in the bottle now. You can see it coming down now. It does take a little bit of time because it is like a thick glucose. Like that. And what happens is, basically, I will leave that then. I just carry it around in my van. And you can use them when you want them. You can do them on the morning. So I'll fill this bottle up like that, leave it, You don't need to fridge it. They've been in my van through the hottest summer that we've had on record. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the pellet apart from that bait booster going into the pellet. And I'll show you what happens. And then get that. Like I said, you don't have to use a bait booster bottle. Just use a nice thick bottle. Some of it's going to last. Some of it's sealed. There's loads of different containers that you can use, obviously. You can see that now. Put a bit more in. But like I said, you need to leave that for a minimum of like 3 weeks. So you can do them in your garage. So I'm going to let that go down because we'll run out of camera by the time that gets down. And then basically the finished pellet, which is what's in there, is soaked all the bait booster in. And like I showed you just a minute ago, they're ready to go. So they look exactly the same as a Pro Expander, apart from they totally stink of the bait booster. And bait booster's sweet, it's nice, it smells lush. And then basically it's as simple, the process you do exactly the same. So that's the ones that I've got soaked. I'm going fishing in a minute. I've soaked these up. They've been in there for about 40 minutes. That's all. And what happens is, I think the bait booster gives it the smell, and it also, because it's gone into the pellet and made the pellet soft, it takes less time to expand. So obviously if you want to do it in the morning before you know, as you're setting up, you can do. And it'd be as simple. And what I love about this, it's not just the smell, it just keeps everything compact. Like if you look at that, is that not the perfect expander? That's a 4mm version, obviously. I ran out of 6mm, that's why I'm doing some 6mm now. And that, it just keeps, I don't know, and it, even though it's been in water, you can still smell the bait booster in it because it's inside the pellet. I can still smell the washed out flavouring. So I'm just going to put some more bait booster on them. Like that, make sure it's full up. You know, it's going down nice now. But like I said, it is a process that you need to do, you know, and give it a few weeks for that bait booster to settle in. But once it's gone in, it makes, honestly, it's so easy to do. It is so easy. You can just do them exactly the same in a tub, cold water, in a fridge, or do them in the morning. It doesn't matter. But there's obviously one other thing you can do. If you can't sort of be bothered to do that, I mean, that is going to take a little bit more. That's what you want to make sure you've got a sealed container. Another way of doing it is obviously the liquid flavouring. Now that is as simple. Let me just chuck those expanders away. That is as simple as, this stuff's awesome stuff. It really is. So I've run out of 6mm because I've just done my whole bag up. I'm going to do some 4mm, and it's as simple as putting some Pro 4s in a container of water, get some liquid flavouring. You don't need loads because it's really potent. A nice big squirt like that. And because that sort of mixes with the water, or bait booster sort of does, but it's a lot thicker. And I would leave them normal. So you can put them in a bottle, you can then put them in the fridge. Some people do them in a bag, and just have the corner of the bag, you know, tied up so it's all pressurized. And that turns the whole water the same. Same again, different flavourings on that, Scopex, Banoffee, washed out, whichever one you like. I've got my whole little contraption that I keep in my van, like a mad doctor. So that's the two ways to do it. But honestly, if you are really, what is it about expanders, try that bait booster way, because it makes it easy. I said I can just carry these. Just going to put a bit more on there. Just make sure at the start of this process, like I'm doing there, now that's getting close now, you can see the bait booster coming up here. So they're actually completely sort of, you know, covered in bait booster. That's still going down a little bit. Like that. And what will happen over like the next 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, something like that, they will all them expanders will suck that the bait booster in, and so they're just completely inhaled in it basically. And that's close now, you can see it coming up to the neck. And that, I would say, is the odd little bubble coming out. Jake can get that on camera. And that's it. So that now, put the lid on. That's why you want a nice container like that, where you can seal it up. Chuck that wherever you want it. Keep it in your car, keep it in your van, in your garage, within 2 or 3 weeks. And you can just do an odd little batch throughout the year. And you can keep them in there for as long as, I said, that batch there, I'm actually in my van for nearly a 12-month. So you don't need to mess about, you don't need to put any more bait booster on or anything like that. But try that, because it makes a massive difference, I think, to my expander fishing.